People of Earth, comic book community, welcome back to the Flash by Night channel, and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Comics. It's been a while. I haven't done this for a while. I think I'm going to try to change some things up. I usually do 2 books, but we're going to do a few more and see how it feels, see how it flows, and see how you enjoy it. So go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to jump into our first book, which is The Joneses, issue number 1 from AWA by Michael Morsi, with art by Alessandro Vitti, and is it Eve or Ive Vorsini? I think I got that right. I probably butchered that last name, but I feel like you guys are used to that by now. But The Joneses, issue number 1, is basically starting off a story about this family here, which on the cover seems like a nice, normal, together family. Of course, we assume they have powers, which they do, but on the inside there is a much deeper story to this book. They live in this town right outside of Chicago, and they live in the era of the Reborns after the Resistance book, where like a lot of people in the world died and other people woke up and had superpowers and everything. And so they live in that world basically, and all 4 of them have powers, but they are trying to keep it under wraps because in their small town, the idea of reborns and the fear of reborns is kind of taking over, and there's kind of an anti-reborn movement going on. But they want to be regular people. They want to keep it under wraps. They want to keep it quiet. But there are also fractions within the family. A couple of the family members don't want to use their powers. A couple do. The husband and wife, I believe Marcus and Sydney are their names. They kind of don't agree with each other. I don't think the 2 kids whose names skip my mind right now are actually their 2 kids. I assume that they had these 2 kids, one and the other, outside of their marriage or before their marriage. So the family is kind of already fractured going into becoming a family, and the crack only gets a little bit bigger as this story goes along, and the kind of tension with reborns and how the town feels starts to build. And it's going to come to not a quick climax, but a quick head, kind of, because at the end of the story, one of them, who is already kind of against using their powers, is approached by the anti-reborn committee, and we have to see what's going to go on there. So that was The Joneses, issue number 1 from AWA. It was good. It wasn't great just yet. I am interested in how this is going to go. I don't think this will be as much of a superhero story as it is a family story and trying to deal with all of these things. You know, there'll be superhero things here and there, but I think it's going to be mainly focused on this family and how they try and stay together in this new world of reborns. The next book I want to keep up with is Strange, issue number 2, by Jed MacKay, of course, and was it Ferreira, Ho, and Tartaglia? I think I got the names right. I think we're on the right track. So Strange number 2 is basically picking up after issue number 1, where we have Clea Strange, who is the wife of Dr. Stephen Strange, who is dead right now, and she is dead set on bringing Stephen back to life. That is basically her mission, her goal as the Sorcerer Supreme. But things happen, and there are obstacles. There are harvest men that show up and kind of throw a couple of monkey wrenches in her way. And so we get teased by the Harvest Man in issue number 1, and we find out who the Harvest Man is in this issue. which his role in the issue itself isn't huge. It doesn't make a huge dent, but I think him being here does say something for the future of this book. We also get the answer to why Thunderstrike is here, because Thunderstrike also shows up at the end of issue number 1. And we kind of get a battle between those three at the first part of the book. I won't tell you who won or how it ended up, but there are probably more questions than answers coming out of this. Later on, we get a chat between her and Wong kind of reminding her that yes, you are the Sorcerer Supreme, and yes, you want to bring back Stephen Strange, but there's also this other whole list of Sorcerer Supreme things that you need to do, which, you know, she'll do, but that's not her ultimate goal. It's on the list, but it's not high up on the list. Stephen is high up on the list. And then at the end, we get a message that some people are back. I'll leave it at people. Some people are back that she did not think she would see again. And they have thoroughly ticked her off, and she is literally on the warpath. And that's kind of what I got out of Strange number 2 without giving too much away. I will say the Strange number 2 didn't move the story forward quite that much. It didn't do a whole lot tangibly, but there were hints and sprinkles inside of the book, especially with the Harvest Man, that kind of let you know that things are happening, that other forces that we have not literally seen in the book yet are kind of bubbling up and maybe rising. And so we'll have to hang on to Strange and see what happens. It's a Jed MacKay book, so I want it to be good. I want to keep up with it, and I'll try to, because you all know I'm on the Jed MacKay train right now. And Strange should turn out to be pretty good. We'll see where it goes. The next book up is actually a book from last week, I believe, and it is Ghost Rider issue number 2. Of course, I picked up that Peach Momoko variant for Ghost Rider number 2. I said I was going to keep on picking up these Peach variants as long as she keeps doing them. And I peeked at the Peach variant for issue number 3. You should really be interested in the Peach variant for issue number 3. But as for the book itself, it was kind of like Strange, where it didn't move the story forward a whole lot. We kind of pick up with Johnny Blaze waking up in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. I don't know how long he's been going or coming from, or how he ended up in Idaho. It doesn't really say. I don't think he really knows. He kind of tells us that there's this more concrete barrier between he and the Rider, where he and the Rider, you know, they had differences, but they could feel each other. They knew what each other were doing. They could kind of affect each other. Now there's this concrete barrier where it's either Johnny Blaze or it's the Spirit of Vengeance in control, and there's no middle ground between the two. That being said, he's in Idaho, has no clothes. His motorcycle is jacked up, and he basically goes to this inn. Coincidentally, maybe not coincidentally, he goes to this inn and basically asks the guy at the inn, you know, could he do something? Can he make some money? Can he help clean up or whatever? Because he feels like he needs to rest, and he needs to figure out how to straighten himself out, how to get his head right. And he wants to do that alone. He doesn't want to ask for a whole bunch of help. But we find out that the inn has some funny things going on, and there is a monster in the closet. I won't say what or how, but we do see a monster in the closet, and Ghost Rider kind of takes care of the monster in the closet. We also get this FBI agent and this individual who calls herself or who has been called Warroad, Talia Warroad, I believe. And I don't know a whole lot about her. I don't know if she's a new character or not, but apparently she sees the future if it's negative, if it's bad, if people have bad things coming to them, she can see it. And that's her deal right now. I don't know what the rest of her deal is, but she and this FBI agent are hot on the heels of someone who may or may not have set a fire to a hotel. Who knows what that's going to be about? But that's kind of what happens in Ghost Rider issue number 2. Again, it didn't move the story very, very far, but I am interested in Ghost Rider. I'm interested in the character, and I'm hoping that the book ends up being good. I have to at least stick it out to issue 5, because the A cover on issue 5 has somebody's favorite knight. But Ghost Rider issue number 2 was worth picking up. We'll see what number 3 does. You see the last book, fan-flippin-tastic, Moon Knight issue number 10. Of course, I got this Spider-Man 60th anniversary cover because I'm a fan of the Arachnite, which is like this mashup between Spider-Man and Moon Knight, and this kind of reminds me of it. But having read the book, I skipped over the A cover, but the A cover, now that I read the book, represents the story nicely. So what we have going into this book is we finally get the appearance of Rutherford Winter, who is this ex-Hydra agent and ex-SHIELD agent. They won't tell you that. But this ex-Hydra / SHIELD agent who comes looking for Moon Knight and looking for the Midnight Mission. They play it off as if he's coming just to fight. He wants Moon Knight for whatever reason, because he's an ex-Hydra agent, and he's got this high body count. He's got blood on his hands, all of this stuff. But there's a twist to why Rutherford Winter, this serial killer basically for Hydra, is coming to look for Moon Knight. And Moon Knight is basically looking for a couple of people himself. I won't give it away. What I will say is that a couple of issues ago, I thought the Doctor was acting a little weird, and we find out why the Doctor was acting weird here. But it's something that hits really, really close to home for Moon Knight, with a character who is a really deep cut. Like, Jed MacKay is digging in the crates for these hits that he is giving us in Moon Knight. But what I think I see coming, and what we've seen coming slowly, is that some of these adventures Moon Knight's been on, some of these people he's met, especially the Zodiac, are causing him to revert back to the more callous, more violent Moon Knight that we saw in the past. And I want to say that is Zodiac's point, but that's neither here nor there. We'll find that out in the next few issues if I'm right. But issue number 10 was a blast. Moon Knight tells us at the very end that there will be blood, and I am looking forward. So that was Keeping Up with the Comics. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you saw something you liked. If you enjoyed yourself, go ahead, hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with me, Keeping Up with the Comics, even if I have sinus issues going on, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and of course, feel free to leave comments. Let me know what you thought about any of these books. Did you read them? Did you get anything that I didn't get? If you know any nuggets, let me know in the comments. But as we always do at this time, love yourself, love others, and I will be back in a flash.